Hello, we are back. It's raining pretty hard, so hopefully you can still hear me. Hopefully it's not too loud. Remember the last time we did this baby, we did a couple of red washes and some more creasing with that red wash. I was going to show you the difference between her and him, but I went ahead and did 2 layers of red on him too, and as you can see, the colors of the kits started out a little bit different. I mean, they're pretty similar, and he's looking a bit darker than her. And then what she looked like to begin with, this is one of the Winnie kits I have for sale. As you can see, she has gotten quite a bit warmer. You can always tell the difference between the painted part and the flange there. And these kits, they were kind of the same color, which is weird, but yeah, you can see she looks a little bit better. She's actually a little bit more warm off camera than she is on. So you can tell she's got some pinking and some nice mottling. But yeah, your kit should be looking pretty similar. Alright, now we are going to be mixing up some of that light yellowy green color. This is the yellow we had. I don't even remember what I made this yellow for, but this is the yellow that I had sitting for a while. We're gonna refresh it here. My brush is some of that light blue. My brush isn't exactly super clean, but it should be okay. So this has some white in it, which is fine. You can mix that yellow with that really light blue. And fuzzy there. Yellow with the really light blue to make a pretty green. Should be a yellowy green, and I'm going to put some more yellow with it. If I set it out, there we go. And put some more yellow with it. So right now it's kind of a mint, and I want it more of an apple. So the more white you put in it, the more mint it's going to look. It's looking better. Less white in there. And I'm going to mix quite a bit of it because I've got 2 babies. I'm going to keep going until it's where I want it and some of the white is out. A little bit more yellow. Okay, it should look kind of like a granny apple green when you're done. And it should be model consistency, which this is quite thick, so I'm going to thin it down a bit. There we go. That's more of what I want. Make it just a little bit more yellow. The more yellow, after you've put the red on it, the more peach your baby's gonna look. So, like I was saying in the other video, you want more yellow than blue. You want a warm green, a warm light green. Of course, you know the cool colors like blue, green, and purple are cool colors, and yellow, orange, and red are warm colors. So that's why I'm saying this is a warm green, because it has a lot more yellow in it. Alright, that's the color I want it. As you can see, it's quite a bit yellow compared to a blue-green. Okay, and go ahead and gloves slipping. Go ahead and get out your modeling thing. You can see pretty green. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that. And my paints is on 2 different palettes, which is perfectly fine. I like to use up what I have and add to it or whatever as I go, just because I don't like wasting paint. A little thicker than I wanted it to be when I first put it on there. Now when I model, I try to go like a nice, generous mottling, but sometimes I realize it's too dark and I have to thin it down. And I ended up having to go back over her limbs. Oops, sorry guys. I had to go back over her limbs because her head was mottled more than her limbs with that, the warm blush that I had on there. Which is fine. It worked out. My elbow. I've got the camera really close to me so you guys can see, and my elbow is gonna knock it, I'm sure, from time to time. So, my apologies. It's frustrating. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And this green is going to give her, sorry, that's frustrating to me. This green's going to give her more dimension, and it's going to really make the red in this baby pop, because the green neutralizes the red, and the yellow and the red together makes like an orangey peachy color. So yeah, she's gonna look really nice. And then the next video, I'll have you guys bake after this modeling layer. And then the next video, we're going to be doing some blue creasing. I'll do the blue creasing with Leo. Try not to get too high of a concentration. And there's my cat Aspen. She usually doesn't get on me. It's usually Marley. But it's storming outside, so I have a dog under my table, and then this kitty. They don't like the weather. It was storming so hard earlier, shaking the house with thunder. And our creek is flooded. Drove my car through it earlier. It was so heavy on the highway that I couldn't drive very fast. I was going 55 and a 65, and then popped over a hill, and somebody had hydroplaned into the ditch. I'm sure they were driving too fast. That was crazy. Okay. Sure you've got all the little surface area done. Last night I was looking over all the videos. I'll put my glasses on. I was looking all through the videos that I've made. And I noticed I started the Freshy Newborn series, but I messed up on the baby. Oh, no. Messed up on the baby, so I ended up having to strip him. And I will go and will finish that newborn series eventually. I ended up having to strip a kit a few times. I stripped that one twice, and it just seemed like they were just having nothing but issues, so I put babies aside for a while, and I'm just gonna let you guys know I'm a little bit intimidated by that kit now. So I'm gonna get a little bit more confidence. I'll pull him out again and go back over that Freshy Newborn series. Still trying to decide who I want to paint next. It's a toss-up between Charlie by Joanna K or so I'm waiting on Gracie May to come out, and I'm going to end up doing her for a customer, so probably only have time to do one kit. I have a couple of kits that I've been wanting to work on, but a friend of mine won them actually for me in a raffle, and I ended up doing a baby for her, and then I paid her for the other kit, and it's the Genevieve and Josephine by Cassie. And, those kits are really hard to come by, so I was pretty excited. But they came smoke damaged, like cigarette smoke damaged, which was quite gross. Not from my friend, but from where she won them. And it took about 6 months to get the stinky out. I had to bury it in cat litter since I tried everything else. And pretty sure the stinky's gone, but then somebody told me once you start baking it, the stinky comes back, so that'll be a disappointment if that happens. I'll only do those together. Seems like I've always got an excuse to not do them. And I'm just going to do one layer on this baby. And then I'll do one layer on Leo. Man, my mind went blank there for a minute. Leo. But since I normally do 2 layers, I'll do Leo on camera too. I'm just going to do one on these guys. Since yellow is a pretty strong presence, I don't think I'm going to need more than one layer. move my limbs over so I have a spot for Leo. And lighten him up just a little bit. He's a little darker than she is. And I decided to make Winnie blonde, a little blonde baby, and Leo is going to be dark-headed. As you see, I've made up a lot of this color. So I have an empty jar. I'm going to let it dry just a little bit. The thinner should evaporate. And then I can put it in that little jar and have it for next time. That way my paint isn't wasted. And I'll have a spot for more paint, a different color. Okay. I have a tin roof, that's why it's so loud. Other than the thunder, I don't mind it. Be mindful of the hand, that you don't go, like the hands and feet, that you don't go too dark, because it will look really crazy with the blush. So blush will darken it more, obviously. And when you're dealing with this color, you don't want too dark, because that yellow has quite a bit of pigment. Okay, now we're going to go look over Winnie and see how we did as far as matching it up. I didn't match it the last time, and that's why I ended up having to go back over the limbs with the warm blush again. I wasn't paying attention to matching up the tones. Looks okay. And it dries off and it will look lighter. Now, if you notice, there's some pretty obvious yellow blobs on there. Wipe it off before you bake. Hang on, I'm going to look at this at a different angle here. This doesn't have very much paint on it, so just going over lightly. Limbs seem to match up, so I bet I'll have to go through over all of them again. Sorry about the camera. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me shut that door. I think that TV is like super loud. And this is where I'm going to end the video. And then you guys, you can put the layers on that you need. Match up your limbs to your head. Match limbs to limbs. All that. And then you'll be ready to do creases with me the next time. All right, guys, thanks.